Good morning, Wandering Creek friends. This is Lisa, and I garden in northern Illinois. And I just saw a hummingbird. Oh, did you just see it fly? Oh man, I thought maybe it would stay there for us. So this is my sun garden. I thought I would give you a quick tour before the sun does get in the garden, because once that happens, it'll just wash out all the pictures. In a few places, you're going to see these little baskets upside down. I use them to keep the rabbits off certain items that I don't want them to chew on, because they like to do that. So I'm going to come along here. These are they are a double tiger lily. So let's see if I can get up close and show you. Is that gorgeous? I mean, just gorgeous. And look how many blooms there already are. So I used to have a bench that sat in front of these, and so that these would just sit behind. My bench is over to the right, and I'm working on getting a few of the pieces of wood fixed on it and getting things set up over there. Let's see, down here I have what is this? Sunny Keys Oriental Lily that's about to put on its show. Can't wait. Down here I have some Helenium. I was going to see if I could hold it upright. Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. Oh, using that bar, but it didn't work very well. I've trimmed my columbine already because they were just sitting in seed form. So I just shook the seeds all over the place. Here is one of my planters. In this planter I put in sweet potato vine, superbenia, and it looks like some super bells. I know that there is a supertunia in there, a purple one. It might be on the side or just lost within all of the other foliage. And then that is a purple fountain grass. Beautiful. I love that combination. I have 3 of these pots around my yard. Same combination. Down here, I'm still working in this area a little bit, trying to get it to look the way I want it. I tried to get the Gaillardia and move some plants. You'll see right here, in here are some Gaillardia, and I tried to move plants that were in another spot, and they just do not do well when you do that. I did recently watch a video where what the person did was they saturated the spot where they were going to put it with water first, and then they watered the plant really well before they dug it up. Then they dug it up, moved it in it. I guess it's supposed to be fine. I don't know. We're going to try that next time. If I come back over in here, this is a baptisia that blooms in the spring. As you can see, it's like about 4 foot wide now. Doesn't seem to get much taller than 4 foot or so, which is nice. So I'll just have to watch it. And I did also watch a video that you can trim that easily, so that's nice. Back in here is my fireworks phlox, looking spectacular. The one thing I don't really care for this phlox is because if you look at the coloring, let's go in here. See the coloring, and also you can see some of the blooms die, and the coloring has that very ombre sort of color with the white. And from a distance, to me, it always looks like that the blooms are just dying. You know, they just don't look real healthy. So I've never been extremely happy with that. But this year, it's actually doing pretty good. I put a little fence behind it to hold them up, because normally they get so tall and it gets windy there, just they flop over. So let's zoom in. This is Arizona Sun Gaillardia. Isn't that gorgeous? I love those colors. So next year I'm going to start some by seed. I haven't done that. I just move things from around my garden. I've got my Sweet William starting to rebloom a little bit. I think this is that pincushion. So I got a couple of them in there. So they're doing pretty good. Let's see what else I have. I've got daylilies in bloom, more Gaillardia. Normally this area in here to the left is covered with gaillardia. So I added some plants in there, and I just need to figure that out. Here is some liatrices along here. Normally I have a pot that sits here, but I just transplanted a daylily there, so next year that should look better. Back in here, my sweet tart bambino phlox are starting to bloom. Look at that crazy one that's so tall. I'm not sure what happened to that, but that's okay. I trimmed down the spent blooms from my Stachy's Hermello. So now they just nice green, ground cover. And I've also started cutting down my iris in this area so I could give my phlox a little bit more breathing room, because they need the airflow to keep them from getting Dusty Miller, that's not it, from getting, oh man, once you say something wrong, isn't it hard sometimes to find the right words? Mildew. Some mildew. Dusty mildew. Now I can't even remember what it's called. But anyway, so they need airflow. Well, let's just keep it at that. Then in here, since the sun hasn't been on my garden yet, my daylilies are sort of all closed. They're not real open yet. So as you can see along here, this will be spectacular this morning. That'll be all my dark red daylilies. Then we come to the end here. And back in here are my tiger lilies. I don't think I really posted a picture of them. And there's a rogue tiger lily. This is the ones that are around my farm and the different gardens. And sometimes they just reseed in spots. Fine with that. You can see right here, they've reseeded, or maybe I actually moved one here because it does look nice in this corner. I've got my hollyhocks that are where's my finger? Right here. Quite spent. They look pretty brown. I'm okay with that. I don't really worry about a lot of that stuff. Zebra grass. There's my welcome flag. Just find that adds a little color to the garden. So in this garden, this goes in a loop, and you're going to see an extension cord because that's for my water feature at the moment. I just got my water feature up and running about a week ago. It's not what I want yet. I wanted to just get it in and get it working, and then I will, work on the design, I'll call it, to make it look a little bit better. So here are my peonies. They're just shrubs. I like that. I have more daylilies. Look at those daylilies. I hadn't come out, and sometimes I pull off the spent bloom. Sometimes I don't. I don't worry about it too much. This behind here is a 9-bark, and look at the bark. This is gorgeous, wonderful interest in your garden. The bark peels off the little stems, so it has a really nice, interesting look there. I added this little display. The sedum are still coming into their own, trying to fill in and make it look okay. This is actually meant for a hose. My husband bought 2 of them for me. I think he sits there and watches Woot, and sometimes when he finds a deal he can't pass up, I get something for my garden. So I got a couple of these. I don't keep hoses just sitting around out. I normally drag them around the yard and then I drag them back in. So I decided with the 2 I have, I put a planter below, and then I put pots, and I'm hoping that maybe those plants will drape down a little bit. I don't know if they will. It sort of looks funky, but it's a start. So next year, it just gives me, something to think about during the winter of how I would like to make that look better. So as I come back into the garden around the circle, my yellow daylilies. I also have some more oriental lilies. I planted a couple bulbs in this area. I struggle with deer and rabbits want to eat everything, so it does make it a challenge at times. I planted some more Stachy's Hermello down here along my edge here. Here, let's see if I can back up a little bit so you can get an idea. There's my extension cord. Just pretend it's not there. more red daylilies. So if you come in and you look at it from this angle, you'll see I've got red on both sides, yellow on both sides. Sort of makes it a cohesive look. And as you can see, it doesn't matter what color. I put lots of colors in here. I'm not one that like thinks a specific garden should be all pinks and purples. Anything I see in the store, if I like it, it goes in my garden. Here is a Veronica. I have no idea why I planted it so close to some more lilies, which aren't going to bloom this year because something came and ate the top off of every single stem. Here's some more daylilies. Now, I do not know the name of, I think, any of these daylilies in this garden. Most of them I've either purchased. A few of them I purchased. Some of them my dad brought to me that he had in his gardens. Back in here I have some salvia I had trimmed down. We'll see if it reblooms. And then here, look at this display of coneflowers. I want to take all the pink ones up. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, I pretty much always say that, don't I? But this is, ultimately just is going to be my yellow, orange, and red area, coneflower area. Here's more red daylilies, some purple, this one here, I've got allium. These are your summer allium. This is the Millennium series. So they're just starting to bloom. And I took one of my other alliums and I just poked a little bit along, all the way along here. And then next year, there'll be a little bit bigger clump. The following year, a little bit bigger. And within a couple years, they'll look just like these. So that's really cool. Look at this daylily. Is that beautiful? It is a really dark, like raspberry color with even a darker center. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Cute. I love that. My speedwell, my blue speedwell is blooming. I have a little, see that? It reseeds throughout the garden. There's some gaillardia. I have a dwarf blue willow shrub or bush there. It's supposed to be like 6 feet wide and 6 feet tall. Easily. I bet you it could easily do it in, by the second or third year, easily do it in one summer. I tend to cut it. I literally cut it all the way down to the ground. My husband looks at the poor stump and says, "Are you kidding me? That thing is not going to survive." And then up it grows, and I've already trimmed it once. So here is my water feature. There you go. Isn't that cute? So I still need it. These are just old bricks or paving stones or whatever they're called that I had around the farm. So I decided I would make something for my water feature. This year I put the rim on the top. I don't know if I like that. I think it would be nicer in the middle, but the problem is my water feature is actually not level. So it looked funny to have it down in, but here it's almost not that obvious that it's really quite on level. So if we come in here, I bought that little turtle on Amazon. I think it was like the Toscano site through Amazon. I bought that little turtle, so cute. And then the little water feature, I got that from Front Gate. It's not the configuration that they show to put it together. My husband created an extension for that little pod one, the tallest one. So I'm still working on this. I think I'd like to pull it out more towards this side maybe, and have the water feature maybe in the same spot. I don't know. Those sticks in there are actually from when I trimmed my what is this, 9 bark here. When I trimmed it, I just threw the branches in. I'm going to see if they'll root. I just threw them in. They burnt a little bit at the top. But also, like if you get a frog that jumps in or anything like that, maybe there's a way for it to get out. At least it can get up. I'm going to add more water to it, so if there was one in there, it could get up in the lily pads. So So, yep, there's my water feature. Something that's, you know, when you're sitting there on this bench someday, you can enjoy the sounds. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come up on the bench and I'll show you what you can see from the bench. Hopefully with the picture, the colors come out nice. So if I sit, I'm going to actually sit, hopefully I don't fall through the dang bench. There we go. Since the sun, well, I'm right now sitting in the southwest corner and everything sort of faces this direction, and I actually planted it this way, or planned, maybe I should say planned it this way, because I wanted it to be that from the house, from the road, it's not obvious what's in this garden. You know, I don't care so much about the road, but when I'm sitting on my porch, I want it so it makes you come off the porch, walks down into the garden to see what's blooming. So I hope you enjoyed my tour this morning. And as always, may all your wandering take you to many wonderful places.